Welcome to Always Ascending Academy. I am your fellow creator, your fellow spirit, Chase Clarence Calloway. This video, this whole website, but specifically this video, is all about you and how you are God. So what I'm about to do here is explain how you, as God, are the creator of your reality, and how spirits in general create reality by expressing themselves together. So if you are not familiar with who I am past Chase Clarence Calloway, that is my name for this lifetime. I'm able to communicate about this like this, and am here doing this specifically because I hyper-consciously create bodies and use my mind to navigate the universe. So, as far as the whole idea of you are the body and that when you die there's nothing, or just all of these different ideas about death and being scared of death, everything is real, yet everything is made up. So, my job here being summoned by this planet, because climate change is pretty wild, and everything that I'm talking about in terms of how you as God create your body by using your mind to communicate, first internally then externally, is essential when we are focused on maintaining a balanced and beautiful harmonious space, because this is where we can really get huge love and appreciation and empathy for nature, and the fact that nature is spirits connecting outside of you. This thing is alive outside of you, and in fact it's making your life possible. You can't have a body and have experiences inside of this simulation if nature was not already set up to work a certain way. So my name in this life is Chase Clarence Calloway. Before this life, you can Google me in everything. I'm known as Thoth, Tehuti Trismegistus, Hermes Thrice Great, Chikitet the Atlantean, mainly these four. If you go onto Google and just look up those names, you'll see that they're all the same spirit and they're all me. It's all about Mercury, and it's all about communication and hyper-consciously communicating. That is what this is all about. Being aware that you are creating your body through communicating, and you are helping create the universe by communicating your feeling of desiring to connect and create a body. So this is where it's so essential to be aware that you're God, right? Everything on the internet will hype me up as God. The fact is, that is just how white supremacists view indigenous spirits, because they steal everything that indigenous people create so that they can then enslave humanity. So God is a creator. That's all God means. God is you when you're creating. So we're about to get into the numbers and the elements and how they correlate in how the spirit uses light to express its nothingness. Because this is all life is. Life is light. Life is a lie. That's why life is something that we want to be comfortable in. Life is something that we create based on not wanting to die. Death is the truth. So this is where death is transformation. Life is stability. Death is transformation. So when you think about your life in this body, you're stable in this body. Many people are scared of death because they don't feel like they consciously made this body and like they can consciously communicate away. So because they're scared, they're resisting it, and then it's just not a good situation. What you resist persists. You don't feel creative. You don't think you're in control. And thus you use your power to give up your power. And now you created a horrible circumstance for yourself that you didn't need to go through this situation. And if you knew that you were God, you would not have gone through that situation, because you would not have felt like you did not have the creative ability to communicate in a way that changes your reality. So this is what we're talking about when we look at climate change, right? When we see that the world is messed up, it always starts with you. You as God are the center of your universe. That's why I, as symmetry, as Chase Clarence Calloway, I ride the synchronicity. So everything with me as Hermes thrice greatest is about tripling my communication, triple my C. And that's the 3. And so that's just where I am sitting in Mercury. Mercury is a metaphysical space that I built to be able to reflect upon the whole universe, hang out with lots of awesome spirits, lots of indigenous death spirits that like to also reflect upon the universe and help out where they can. And so that's where you can look up the whole idea of psychopomp in Greece. And then that's where Anubis and I fuse to become Hermanubis and take our intentional vibe truly throughout the cosmos and really help spirits navigate death. So the fact is, you are dead right now, and you are using your death, your emotion, to power this body. This body is actually the dead thing. It looks alive because your death is animating it. Okay? So this is the fact. You, as a body, are created from your soul. We're going to then get into all of this with nothingness turning into water, turning into earth, and the steps in between that. And of course, keep an open mind, right? I mean, that's the whole point. Like, you're here keeping an open mind. So you're going to see how this is just life. And once you see how spirits create life, it's going to be evident in all creations, and it'll be evident in your thoughts and how you feel, and you'll be able to start performing internal alchemy. And that's where we get into magic and manifestation and conscious communication, building the structures that allow you to experience life. So let's get into it. You are God. You're beautiful and you're awesome. I love you. Even if you don't love yourself, I love you just for the fact that you are part of the universe. Because like watching the universe, seeing the design, seeing all the sacred geometry, and how everything is just truly synchronistic because spirits are intentionally expressing themselves, just the fact that you're expressing yourself, I love you. Because that means that you feel like you have something worth expressing. And I mean, that's awesome. The fact that you want to bring something from nothing, because that's the only reason that you're alive. You want to bring something from nothing. And this whole process of life is, who are you? Like, what is your nothingness? That's what we're getting down to here. You are a spirit. You are nothing. Now, this English language is tailored so that we feel negatively about that, because the whole point of white supremacy is that it wants to separate us from our spirit. So it wants to make us feel like we need to be something instead of nothing. But something is always going to be more limited than nothing. So this is what it takes to consciously make a body in a simulation like I do. And then be connected. And like, I can animate myself as Hermes. I can animate myself as Thoth. I can animate myself as Symmetry. I can animate myself as Iriso. I can animate myself as Chikitet. I can animate myself as Inky. I can animate myself as many bodies. And it's all going to be an expression of my spirit. It's all going to be an expression of how I move, how I cycle through light. So then that's where we have so many bodies. That's the whole idea of being a spirit. You couldn't possibly just get everything in one life. And then what do you do after that life? Like, you sit in one place forever? if we're talking about the idea of heaven and hell, like you just become stagnant, the whole point is that evolution, when you see evolution in nature, it is a physical representation of what we're doing as spirits. We're constantly evolving, right? So we're constantly using our ability to create bodies through lifetimes to figure out who we are as a spirit. That's what I've been doing for many lifetimes. That's what I'll constantly do. That's what will forever do. That's the point of Mercury. That's the point of the symmetry. That's the point of me having this whole awakening experience with everyone else on this planet and riding this wave and being able to empathize with how horrible it is to be lost in ideas that separate you from yourself. Very sad. I can start crying just thinking about it. And that cry will represent the water that my soul feels based on how passionate I am in this idea and how I connect with it. So look, it's all numbers, it's all elements, and we're creating all of it. That's life. So you're a spirit, you're a zero. As the number 0, you are space. So nothing can interact with your space. Boom, nothing. As in spirit can interact with your space. And that's the whole thing. You are alone. All spaces are alone. So I have an individual space, and I'm always alone in that space. I infinitely love being alone. Now, Mercury is my world. Mercury isn't my space when I'm alone. I have my own individual alone space. And then I have my world, which is where I go to reflect on the universe and record and do my Hermes Messenger stuff, right? So Thoth is recording, he's writing, he's doing all the earth things. And then Hermes, he's doing all the air things. He's got the Caduceus, he's flying, he's sending messages, he's entering simulations. Cool. Communication, we got it. My nothingness is unimaginable. So this is the point of us creating anything. Like, you as a space are unimaginable. Like, this is before you feel or think anything. This is ultimate freedom. Like, this is ultimately being connected to yourself. This is why the English language is so geared to making us think negatively about it, because it's infinitely powerful to know that you are nothing and you are an individual nothing, meaning that you can literally be anything that you imagine based on how you connect with yourself. Boom. Awesome. Like, and everyone, I think, feels that. Like, that's what we're told as kids, right? So all this spiritual stuff gets weaponized against children, of course, because as kids, we are the purest expression of our spirits. And then from there, we learn lessons and stuff based on our communication. So this is the point of children are all individually beautiful. And as children, we're all individually beautiful spirits who are supposed to grow and learn together based on how we level up our communication. And we can't just communicate alone. So that's the point of language, and all of us then agreeing to relate on one language, a few languages and words, and figure out how we're communicating. It's all about space desiring to connect. And the fact is, the only thing that powers that is feeling. So this is where you as a spirit, you go from 0 into fire. So that's your 1, your infinitely individual imagination, into your water. And then that's your 2, and that's your soul. And this is now your internal world before anything external happens, right? So now no one can see this world but you. And this is what's going to create your mind. All right, so you as a nothingness space individual, You have your dreams and desires. So this is where we get into fire. Right? That's the whole point of fire. It is your dream. It is your desire. It is your individual imagination. So no one can see your fire but you. And your fire is always dancing. Always dancing. Your fire is constantly dancing. Your fire is always moving. Your desires are like always changing. Yeah, they're frequent. Like they're frequently changing, but it represents one individual. So then that's where you can have, you know, you can have a limited number of desires, but there's always another desire. Like it's always another fire. It's always more consumption. So this is the energy that powers the universe, is fire, right? Desire. All spirits desire something. And then we can see the only way that life is possible is through water. And that's where all spirits desire to connect. And now we can see that water is the physical representation of how spirits desire to connect with each other. So this is why you're not going to see fire much in nature. Fire isn't connection. Fire is separation. Fire is what powers the simulation. Separation powers the simulation, right? Like then that's where more childhood stuff, the whole idea of supporting individuality, don't be afraid to stand out from the pack, all that stuff is like separation is what makes you great. The whole idea of being a pioneer in America, or just in general like a businessman, or being able to do anything great, greatness is hateness. So if you're going to be great, you have to hate the circumstance that you're in so that you can desire and create fire that transforms the environment into something that molds more into your vision. And now you're great because you hated what you saw before you and you transformed it with your fire. See, this is all natural. Like, we have to do these things. It's just about bringing awareness to it so we're not lost in what is naturally going on in our spaces before we communicate. Because this is what a lot of the issue is when we look at like war, genocide, climate change. All these issues on planet Earth are coming from people not being aware that they are a spirit connecting with themselves before connecting with others. And thus, because they're not aware of what's going on internally, they can only project that and just bring that out into reality and create negative circumstances externally because they didn't know how to handle them internally first. So this is essential to really anchor in, knowing that you are creating the body based on how you communicate, right? The fact is, you were not in a body at one point in time. Like, there is a time in this reality where you weren't in a body, and there will be a time where you're not in a body, and this reality will keep going on. So the whole idea is, this reality would love to convince you that you do not exist outside of it. And that's because from a simulation level, it desires to trap your attention. And that's what we see with phones and TV, and what we're going to see with virtual reality and everything inside of this simulation. It's all about trapping your attention with light. So, what is your attention? Your attention is your darkness. Your attention is your soul. Your attention is what you connect with. So you as an individual decided that you wanted to connect with the world because you have some desires that you would like to express and fulfill with others. So because you don't want to be alone, you have created the circumstance. You have connected with yourself in a way that has brought you in resonance with being a human here on earth. And based on that connection, you are then able to communicate, and that's where we get air. So now we have the number 3. The 3 is the chi, so that's the air. So number 2, see the vibe? So vibes are all about traps. So a soul is you're trapped inside of yourself. So all spirits, all spaces, once they create a feeling, they are forever trapped in a vibe. They are forever trapped inside of themselves, inside of cycling from feeling like a creator to feeling like a demon. So they go from feeling like they have virtues, feeling like they're God, to feeling like they're a victim, feeling like they're the devil or the opposite of God. Because God's a creator. They feel like they're someone at the whim of their circumstances. That's the whole idea of a victim. So to be in your own space and to be creating it, right? You desire to constantly be in control. So that's the fire. Your fire, your number 1, is your desire to constantly be in control. Your water, your number 2, is your desire to connect. And we cannot be in control constantly when we connect with others outside of ourselves. So this is why it's so important to have your internal space right first. If you can't connect with yourself in a way that is harmonious and helpful to you, then you're definitely not going to be expressing anything harmonious or helpful to the environment. And you're only going to create the circumstances that you're going through internally. So this is where, with your fire being your 1, that's your individuality that no one can see. Your 2 is your soul. So that's your vibe, and that's your feeling of connecting with your individuality, which naturally then leads to 3. So then this is the idea of Mercury, mer being water, mermaid, marine, Murray. 2, that's all the vibe. Mercury, curry, curie, is all about carrying water. And that's what air does. Air being 3 is this fire in the middle, carrying the vibe in between. And that's where we have life. That's 3 being the chi, creating the tree. And trees are life. Boom. Trees filter the air. Trees make the atmosphere, actually. So then it's like all that, right? We have nature right here. So the language, the spirit has to articulate itself through it. That's why there's no coincidences, because it's all intentional. We have to resonate with these vibrations in everything so that we can actually build something upon it. So even though this language was meant to make us feel negatively about nothingness, it's still only going to express the spirits that made it and not be coincidental in the vibration and feeling, because we all feel like connecting. So we can all feel rhymes. That's why we love rap. It's all about time and rhyme and how we align. So this is 2, right? That's the vibe. And that's where we get Mercury, because the mer being the 2 gets carried by the intention of every spirit inside of that vibe. So all of our Mercuries is how we all communicate, because it's how we all carry our vibe into 3 and create chi. So this chi is your mind. So that's the distinction between your mind, your Merkaba. So in Hebrew Jewish mysticism, they call it a Merkaba. We have a section about that on the site, as far as how in their scriptures and everything, they are hyping up the Merkaba to be like the chariot of God, and men would have visions of like seeing God in it and then trying to use it, but they go crazy. It's literally just your mind. Like your mind is a Merkaba, your heart is a Merkaba. Everything is a Merkaba because everything is a mind. Any earth that you're seeing in front of you is created by spirits communicating how they connect with their desires. So that is where we can see then 4 coming from 3, coming from 2, coming from 1, and it all exists within 0. Lit. So 4 being earth, right? All bodies, every body that you see is communicating. And communication is especially vibration. So this is why everything vibrates and everything is water. Because earth comes out of water. Earth comes out of 2 being added to 2. A spirit that's connecting with itself, connecting with the universe. And the universe is made by spirits who are also connecting with themselves, wanting to connect with others. So that's where our feelings make our bodies. Boom. And this is every day. This is right now, right? Like the only way I can move right now is because my feeling is making my body. And my feeling, my 2, is being ignited by my 1. So I have a cool vibe feeling, right? All these feeling, this water. And then my desire to express my nothingness comes into my feeling. Make some steam. Chi. Now here I am communicating. That's the C. So then that's why C is the 3rd letter of the alphabet. C3. Triple your C. Because it's just all about communication, building structures. All structures that you see are built through communication. I mean, the internet, right? We do it right now. Everything on the internet is a microcosm of the universe. Everything that you see on the internet was built by spirits doing exactly this. An individual space that cannot be touched, having an individual idea, and connecting with itself in a certain way that allowed it to communicate and build a structure for all of us to connect on. And then that's why water plus earth equals life. 2 plus 4 equals life. Everything is earth suspended in water, right? Like when you're walking around, you just look at reality. Know that the fact that you're breathing air, that's water, right? You look at outer space, that's water. You look at the ocean, you touch water, it's water. Because it's all different densities of air. And air is spirits communicating their desire to connect their individual imaginations with one another. That's what we're doing right now. I have an individual imagination. You've probably never heard anything like this until listening to me speak, because this is my space. This is my imagination. These are my thoughts. This is how I communicate with myself to do what I do. And then it's just up to you whether you want to listen and perceive what I'm saying as possible, or if you would rather not and believe something else. Hypothetically, let's say that you are in fact the body, and that you would rather be like, no, Chase, no, I'm not a spirit using my mind to operate a body because my soul feels like connecting its individual desires to someone outside of myself. Not at all. I'm just the body and I'm just energy, and when I die, I'm just going to disperse into nothing. And I didn't even exist before this. I didn't ask to be born. But now that I'm here, I'm just making things work, Chase. Okay? So get this out of my face. Then fine. You know, if that's how you've connected with yourself up to this point, if you really don't feel like you even could be God, and that you could be creative, and that you could be intentionally creating your body so that you can connect, if you think that you are the body and this doesn't make sense, then I would love to get comments from you, because honestly, that'd be hilarious to me. Because I would love to see and get into some of those details about what else life could be, if not powered by individual spaces desiring to connect with other spaces so they can express what only they can see. Because I'm pretty sure that's why you would be scared of dying and being alone. The only reason anyone would be scared of dying is because they would rather be all one than alone. And this is where we get the concept of heaven and hell. I'll get into this in a later free video. But the whole concept of hell and heaven is flipped. It's flipped. And I never even realized, I never said it like that it was flipped, but it is flipped, because the fact of heaven is that you are only in heaven when you're alone. And being in hell is being with others. So being in heaven is supposed to be your ultimate freedom. And true freedom can only be attained when you're alone. You can only fully express yourself with no judgment, no worry about hurting anyone's feelings, no emotion. Like, you can just fully express yourself when you're alone, and you don't have to worry. Like, in your own space, right? In your own space, when you don't have to worry about anyone else, you can express yourself. And that's a feeling that people don't get to feel here. Because thanks to especially colonialism, we're colonized and shepherded into these situations where we're constantly made to think about how the way we express ourselves affect the people around us. And then that's the idea of, especially for children, shut up. Shut up all the time. Be quiet. Stop making noise. So hell is when you're connected to others. And hell becomes infinitely larger and larger the more people you become connected to. Because the more you connect to others, the less you become of yourself. Like, the more you connect to someone else, the more you're dealing with everything that they seem to be dealing with. And you're going to get pulled into what they're dealing with. And that's where the subconscious mind, water, is infinitely chaotic. And this is why emotions are seen as so negative, and why we live in such a toxically masculine white supremacist society that hates women. Because it's all about being scared of one's own emotion. Like, that's what powers all the climate change and war and genocide that these countries in the Americas especially were built upon and are built upon consistently. It's all about spirits not feeling good when they're alone. So they need to go out of their way to colonize lands, to go out of their way to invade other places that have nothing to do with them, have spirit to do with them, right? So they're in the same space. They feel the need, though, to go out of their own space and conquer other Earth, to conquer another planet, let's say. So that's our whole idea of Stephen Hawking being, the human race cannot survive if we do not colonize Mars. And this whole idea that we're in now of, oh, humans need to go to another planet to live. How lost what? How lost can you be? How lost is that? How lost are you to really think that you, as a human, as an organism on this planet, the only way you can live is if you leave the planet? And I'm saying this because I just watched Interstellar yesterday too. I didn't even get through it. But it's lostness. This is the white supremacist ideology, the mentality. This is what colonizers think like. They destroy their home because they don't feel good alone. Colonizers destroy their home because they don't feel good alone. And that always makes them desire, with their fire, to spread and consume the lives around them. And then it just never ends. because no matter where they go, they'll never be happy alone. And thus, the new world, they come to America, land of the free, guess, boom, it's horrible because they just bring all their own problems everywhere, or else they wouldn't be spreading everywhere. So this is why you as a spirit, it's very important to be content in your own space. Because war, genocide, all this horrible atrocities are literally stemming from this one thing. They are stemming from spirits not wanting to be alone with themselves. So they externalize their negativity and forcefully connect with other spirits outside of themselves. And then that's the whole idea of, oh, you're of sin, so now I can sin on you because you're sinful. Like, what? So you just made up a thing so that you can do the thing that you're judging the other person for? Oh, these Native Americans are savages. We need to build a country on their systemic rape and murder in the name of God. What? Because they're savages? Meanwhile, you're stealing their spiritual systems. So this is how we build life. Okay, you're getting straight indigenous wisdom right now. This is what was stolen and erased from South America, North America, Central America, when the colonizers came in. This is what I, as Hermes Trismegistus, shared in the Emerald Tablets, and in general was just doing a lot of awesome work with cultures throughout these continents before colonialism. So this is just a message, like this is what we do. All right, so you're seeing the new version of that. All right, I'm just using English now, baby, because I had to. Everyone's using English, everyone's getting lost in the internet, because this is what's happening. Here's this reality. Exactly what I'm talking about. White supremacist spirits that do not want to be alone need to create systems that make you hate being alone. So now they can force you to connect with them instead of yourself. And that then takes convincing you that you're not God and convincing you that you're not creative. So I've gone through all this as Chase Clarence Calloway so that I could remember that, hold up, I've lived before. My friend Max, here we are, toking up. He's lived before. I love him so deeply. I'm going to see him again. I can see him when I want. I see him. I see him. I can take my mind out of my body and travel in the astral realm to hang out with other spirits. I've been doing this. Google me if you do not know who I am. This is my thing. This is communication. So ultimate communication is knowing that as a spirit, just your fire, your desire to connect with the universe will allow you to communicate with anyone you want. That's the whole idea then of like spirit guides and like astral projection and all that. It's knowing that you are not the body. And this is the system. This is the number system. All right, so numbers, not a coincidence. It's the whole architect for us to learn about ourselves and how we move, how we use light to make things heavy and make life matter. Can you imagine life without numbers? I think not. So numbers matter and each individual number matters. So we're here in it. 0, that's you as nothing. You're 1, that is your fire, your desire to have an individual imagination and transform the environment in your image. You're 2, that's how you connect with your imagination. So that's where you can either feel good about your imagination or you can feel bad about your imagination. And that's the vibe. So now you're trapped in yourself. So all spirits is like, this is the vibe, because that's the water. It's the polarity. That's the swinging. It's just then being communicated. It's being curried. The myrrh is being curried. The mercury, the communication is being expressed. The air is being created. The chi is being generated by this individual imagination, this space. So then that all represents a spirit. So a spirit has its imagination, its desire, it has the way it connects with itself, and then it has how it combines that. So you can feel good about your imagination, and you can feel bad about your imagination. And you can feel good about your imagination and feel like not expressing it. And you can feel bad about your imagination and feel like expressing it. So that's where we get that difference between your soul, which is your water, your connection, and your mind, your Merkaba, your air, your communication. From there, we create earth. That's the whole physical body structure. That's how I can speak right now. That's how I can do anything. My earth, my body, is constantly being animated by my mind based on how my spirit is connecting its 1 and 2 to create 3. To create chi. So this is the power of chi. The power of chi is you. The power of chi is me, to make it rhyme. Because chi is all about children. And children are inherently narcissistic because you are the center of your universe. You are the center of your universe. So chi is about me because that's your frequency. Your frequency is your individuality. So fire is frequency. 2, your soul. That's vibration. 3, energy is energy, inner chi, or just energy in general. Energy, it's right there. 3, that's the tree. That's the communication. That's where all life is. And then it's just, it creates earth. So this earth, boom, that's our 4. It's our structure. So the structure desires to anchor all communication and make it stable and make it practical. That's the point of us having language. That's the point of us having any architecture, any buildings. These bodies are buildings. That's the point of us building things through communicating, first internally, then externally. And then we can all agree, how do we communicate together so that we can build something together? Because we all have our own languages. We all speak completely differently to ourselves. So it's important for us to learn how to communicate together so that we can actually relate properly and build structures that allow us to do what we're here to do. And what is that? I don't have it marked here in terms of numbers. Let's go. 4 turns into 5. 5 is your finally, family. So 5 is 5 sickle reality. The number 5 represents blood, plasma, basically earth, air, water, and fire, all coming together to express a spirit. That's what 5 is. So your blood, it's a mixture of earth, air, water, and fire. You know, it's a mixture of intention, connection, communication, and structure. Your blood is not just connection. It's not just water, although it predominantly is. Your blood is certainly not fire, although it can boil when you get upset. So, your blood is not just communication, although that is the point. That's the point of blood, to let your whole body communicate. So it just has to connect to communicate. And really, your body's coming out of your blood. So boom, right there, your blood being more of your water, it just shows in another part of the universe how earth comes out of water in all realms and realities. And what that means with earth being stability is that all stability comes out of chaos, because chaos must happen first, and then communication must happen for things to become stable. And the chaos is our emotion, because our feelings are always changing. So the way we communicate that to build structures will result in 5. This 5 is the fact that all structures must change. So the moment we create a structure like, okay, I've got it, boom, it's different now. Why? Because it's vibrating. See, everything is water. So this is why change, the only constant is change. The only constant is change. I was about to say, like, with change, you stay the same or something, but the only constant is change. And change is your emotion. So that's why, again, very essential to know how to cycle inside of yourself properly so that you can be the master of your own emotion, master your own change, and then change your external reality at will. Magic. And again, this English language, all about colonizing and separating us from our spirit. So that's very much where money comes into play, and why every time we speak about time, or even like emotion, but mainly time, it's always words that correlate to money, like change. So the only constant is change. The only constant is money. And money just represents one spirit's desire to control how we connect. Right? So you want to connect however you want, but whoever taught you about money is now controlling how you connect. Because now you can only connect through them, through their idea. So they made up this idea of money. And now, because you believe in it, you can only connect with what you want to connect with if you serve them. And then that's where you only connect to them then. So now you can only connect to what the people who create money want you to have. And then this is how ideas create reality. It's all about that belief. And what ideas do you connect with so that you start to communicate that in a way that builds structures. This is everything. You see this? It's pretty awesome. So this is how our bodies are animated. So the 4 is thus transformed. So the structure, the earth, the moment we have something, it's vibrating. That's the 5. And then that's us constantly transforming with spirits that we resonate with. So in general, the whole universe is dying together. That's why 5 is to dive, to die, to go deep into your feelings. That's what dying is. Go deep, dive. 5 cycle reality, finally. Your family, these are people that you can dive deep with. You can die with them. And then ideally, your family is some group of spirits. I mean, your spirit family, at least, your spiritual family are the spirits that you're building structures with through lifetimes. And you're just more consciously connecting over and over again because you resonate. You've resonated in this past life, so now you resonate more in this life. And then you resonate more in this life, and then this life. And this is how earth comes out of water. Like, we literally couldn't do anything in just one lifetime. It makes no sense as a spirit. Like the idea that you would, as a spirit, do something once and then somehow never be in a body in that realm, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. Would you go to the gym once? Like, do you get strong by working out once? Do you get fit? Do you get good at any skill? Do you get good at communicating? And do you get good at doing anything from doing it once? Like, how would you be good at life if you did it once? Man. So the idea that you've lived once and that you only live once is an idea that someone made up to make money off of your life. The moment you believe that you only live once, you are now scared of death, and you will now naturally project all of your attention and all of your ability to connect, not internally, but externally. So what's going to happen to you is that when you die, because you projected all your belief on external things, you are literally going to, like all the cultural memes and media says, go towards the light at the end of the tunnel. You're going to go towards that. And guess what? You're going to come right back here. And the people who made you believe in money will just get to make more money off of your feelings yet again, because it's all about your feeling of connection. If you don't feel like connecting with yourself over the simulation or anything outside of you, someone's making money off of enslaving the way that you express yourself. So this is why it's so important to love yourself, bro. But this is the system of like, well, who am I to even love? Like, you figure out, what do you really want to do? Spirituality is desire. Like, who do you want to be? What do you want to do? Like, what do you want to bring to the world? What kind of value? What's your fire? What are you passionate about? And then that's your individuality. And then from there, it's all about like, how do you connect with yourself on that? Do you feel good about what you desire to do? Or do you feel bad about what you desire to do? If you feel good about it, then awesome, high vibes. That means you're about to be building some high vibrational structures and making things happen faster. But if you feel low, if you feel slow, if you feel bad about what you want to do, then you're going to be slow. You're not about to manifest that structure, maybe ever, right? Like, it's going to be so slow, you never do it. That's procrastination. That's where we can see so many people have so many dreams, so many things they want to do, but they don't actually combine their water and fire properly. They don't actually get steamy about it. Their water it's too cold. It like puts out their fire or something, or their fire's not hot enough. One of the two. They're either not passionate enough, or their water is too deep and it just douses the fire. And there's like not really even steam coming out. It's just like barely communication. It's just like fire, like, and just like big deep water, and they're drowning in themselves, right? So this is why water is emotion. Water is about drowning. Water is connection, but the fact is, we're learning about ourselves being in human bodies. We're breathing air. We're more so breathing communication energy, not connection energy. Hell is connections. So you can get lost in hell because you get lost in connections. You get connected to too many things. That's just being sucked apart. That's being split apart. That's being pulled outside of your space in so many ways that it's only going to feel bad. It's only going to feel bad. Yeah. Believing that you're the body is truly the deepest form of hell. And whoever has been able to convince you that you are the body is making so much money. AKA, they are generating so much currency out of your ability to communicate, because money is about trapping your feeling, right? You would feel like doing something else, but because you need money, you're gonna sacrifice your feeling to do this. And then it's about feeling good about what you're doing and somehow making all that congruent. Like, okay, I feel good about doing this and I can make money doing it, and now things are good. Boom. And that's what we're taught to do growing up as kids, where it's like, hey, you know, money rules the world. You're gonna need money. We're forced to believe like you're gonna need money because the people who raped and murdered and took over the lands of all of these indigenous peoples throughout North, South, and Central America have made it mandatory here that you need money. So just make sure, as we force you to go through school, that you figure out what you want to do so you can align it and be happy, right? Boom, there it is. Natural. Again, I'm not saying this is good or bad. These are just facts of how money matters. Why does money matter now? Because money didn't matter in my past lifetimes. So this is new, okay? Money did not matter before. Money is literally just an idea that certain individuals are instituting and have used to colonize nature. Because the fact is, nature exists without money. anything that you say money is only going to be nature. Like, oh, money is what? Metal? Money is earth? Money is the trees, the paper, the plants, the air, the water, your belief, your water, your feeling, your earth, your body. Money is an idea that you believe in so that it can manipulate you. Got it. And to make that more positive, of course, money is an idea that we use to relate with each other on. And then it shows us what we value, right? So money is all about, well, what do you put your time into? What do you really feel like doing? It's just, again, like the whole idea of making money, literally making money would be making up your own idea of money and then realizing that it actually doesn't matter. Like, literally, we're literally taught that making money is making money, when in reality, it's literally only sacrificing your ability to make something else to the people who made you think that money matters. And the moment you sacrifice your ability to do anything else to the people who made you think that money matters, now it matters. Boom. Self-fulfilling prophecy. So this is why profit and prophecy are the same exact word. And profit, prophecy, profit and profit. I mean profit as in making money, and profits as in the religious person who can tell the future and save everyone. These are both related very deeply by water. Money is all about trapping your two. Money is all about becoming matter based on how it can make you pay attention to it. So that's what it means to profit. When you profit, you make money matter because you paid attention to it. And other people made it matter because you made them pay attention to it. So the only way you could make money matter was by making other people pay attention to that same idea. And now everyone can agree that this concept matters. Now we're using it to communicate because it matters to all of us. Now you've just made money, and you didn't really make money, but all you did was manipulate how people felt, and you turned their emotions into something tangible. So again, earth coming out of water. Money is all about building a structure out of water. So that's where a prophet and someone who prophesizes is all based in a feeling and a projection of how one can make money by getting other people to believe in their idea. So just like you have to make money matter by getting other people to agree that it matters, you as a prophet can only be a prophet if other people believe that you actually have the vision. Right? So if that's where the whole religious thing comes in. Like, as a prophet, then you make money the more people believe in you. As a prophet, you generate currency the more you can have a vision that seems to make sense. Right? So that's the whole then idea of a prophet being able to tell the future, but really whoever can make you believe that they're telling the future is making money off of how you feel. The fact is, there's no future. So a prophet is just projecting. Now we have the pro words, the project, the profitable projection. The profitable projection is money. That's all. That's hilarious. That's all money's about, right? Profitable projections. Oh, we're going to make this much if we do this. So literally, all you're doing is manipulating nature and looking to turn how we feel about connecting into something that works, quote unquote. And then anything that works is, of course, some servitude or slavery type thing, because that means that you are serving you are giving up your individuality to work, to do something repetitively and build up someone else's structure to make their idea matter. So this is literally how ideas build life. This is how we like connect in any way, shape, or form. This is why all ideas have to come from somewhere. I mean, we're creating everything out of our own individual spaces, and then we resonate on that and build upon it even more. That's what language is. That's what this body is. That's what all worlds are. So this has been a quick video, my version of quick, right? On how you as a spirit create your body by creating a soul. And your body is you connecting how you connect with yourself to others. That's what your body is. So you have many bodies. Like if I want to connect to people in a different simulation, I would have to take my mental body and fly away from this physical body and go to those people in that simulation with the mental body, and perhaps anchor, create a different light body, create a different physical body, and then boom, I would be good. And I can communicate to them in that way. And then boom, I just take my mental body out of that physical body and then come back here. Boom, now I'm communicating back here, and I can take those memories and all of those experiences here. And I remember them just like it's here, because it's all about your awareness of how you're able to use your Merkaba, your mind, to communicate and match the frequency of your spirit. And when you know that your spirit is nothing, then you can do anything you want. And then you have fun anchoring yourself into a creation. So what you're seeing here is my creation of symmetry. Symmetry is ultimate me. It's like 5 me. Like Hermes is the 3 version of me. Thoth is 4 me. Symmetry is 5 me. Symmetry is all about family. Symmetry is all about true wisdom in life, being balanced. And everything you're seeing here is indigenous. All right, because Hermes, clearly he's white. People view him as white, very whitewashed. It doesn't matter what these lights look like. I'm indigenous. And indigenous means knowing that you create life from the inside, in deep. You are in deep inside of yourself. Indigenous. It's not exogenous. We don't create life from the outside in. That's white supremacy. White supremacists come colonize our life. They eat our life. We make our life from the inside out, and they eat our life from the outside in. And here we are, climate change. So, important to communicate about these things. I hope this has helped you perhaps just toy with these ideas if you don't like fully believe me. Of course, I'm only going to be infinitely convicted in all this. I hope this makes sense to you as far as being able to see it in all reality, because I really just broke down in this whole video how we make life and how you're going to see that in numbers. So the number 5 is physical reality. The number 6 is sex, and that's a fact. The only reason you're alive is that someone had sex with someone else. So 2 individual spirits connected on a vibe and made a chi, and they made you. So 2 individuals vibed. They got trapped in each other. Boom. Now they made a shield. That's you. You are the child of the 2 individuals who vibed. So this is everything. This is life. The point of us being in nature and being able to look at nature and learn about these things and point at them is so that we can learn about ourselves together. That's like one of the greatest feelings in the universe, to be able to learn about yourself with others. So you're not just learning about yourself alone, because it's actually impossible. You can't really learn who you are when you're alone. That's you being lost in your desires. That's what we see. That's you being lost in your fire without really connecting to yourself. So, hope this was helpful. So, I hope this was helpful. That is it for how you as a spirit create earth from water. You as zero connect with yourself first. So that's your soul, your internal world, right? So that's your unconscious. Your unconscious is your spirit. You connecting with yourself is your subconscious. And then you connecting yourself to the external world, wherever you find yourself, is your consciousness. And that's your unconscious being manifested through the subconscious. Boom. So we see right there, that's the three. That's life. I put it in the psychology terms and everything. We can see how it correlates spiritually. Makes way more sense spiritually to me. See you later. Get connected to yourself, for sure. So if you would like to learn how you can get even more deeply, so if you would like to learn how you can get connected to yourself in the way that you remember in a very deep and authentically true fashion, you wear it all over you because you're back in your space, that you are God, that you are the creator of your reality, then hop into the ultimate functional fast, because that is our fasting course, all about detoxifying your body, cleansing yourself of all the garbage and poisons that have been pumped into the world to keep you as low vibrational as possible, keep you reacting to the environment. Sugars everywhere, right? Poisons are everywhere. There's chemicals in all the water. There's like just news articles coming out like every couple months at this point about new chemicals in the water that they're finding over here and here. And it's always the chemicals are coming from what? The Industrial Revolution. So this world is poisoned. It's no secret that most of the food that we've been eating, even our baby food, is full of heavy metals, and that our bodies are full of heavy metals, and that our bodies are full of chemicals and poisons and toxins that need to be detoxed out, need to be flushed out if we're going to be a high enough vibration to really be able to conduct the chi of our spirit. Because this is why the Industrial Revolution works so hard to poison the environment. This is why corporations and factories work so hard to poison everything we consume, everything that they possibly can. They diligently poison it. Like, it's not an accident that all of the manufacturing processes for these technologies create biohazardous materials. Not an accident at all. Very intentional. Very intentional. We've had technology that works in harmony with nature. There's no reason to be destroying the environment to create technology that doesn't even work very well in relationship with the environment. Literally, we're using technology that can't get wet. Like, I am using a phone and a computer on a planet that's 70% water, but it can't get wet. If it rains, my technology's done. Is that made by indigenous spirits? You know, like, that's not very water-based. That's not very vibration-based. Like, that's very projection. That's very artificial. That's very, we want to colonize and control, and we don't actually care about being in harmony with the environment at all. At all. In fact, we want to destroy the environment, right? So we're in that. We're in that right now. That's what your body's been going through. This is why so many humans have so many diseases and they have so many different names, because it's all a fundamental problem of you not being connected with God, not being connected with your spirit as deeply and truly as you should be. This is why Jesus fasts 40 days. It's why Gandhi fasts. It's why Buddha fasts. It's why I fast. It's why people who are spiritual in general fast, because it's about being connected to themselves versus being connected to anything else. Because anything else does not have your best interest in heart, like you have your best interest at heart. So if you would like to really tap into your power and really heal yourself and really just level up in all facets, physically, mentally, spiritually, all ways you possibly can, then hop into the Ultimate Functional Fast. And if you would like to learn how you can permanently straighten your teeth and straighten your spine, get your whole skeletal alignment in check, if you would like to actually have sharp cheekbones and a strong jawline based on how you create more space inside of your face. Because I had braces, and braces messed up my face structure. Braces created spine issues. Braces created health problems inside of my body that I have used the techniques in Decolonize Your Face to reverse. So, if you would like to be able to conduct more chi inside of your vessel and heal your nervous system, because the more crooked your teeth are, the more they're putting pressure on your ability to breathe, and the more they're overcrowding your nervous system and your spine, putting weight, like all this pressure on your nerves, and now your ability to communicate with your body is shot because your teeth are so crooked, your body just doesn't even have the space to communicate properly. This is why health is so spiritual. It's about having more space in your face. Braces, orthodontics, metal colonize your face. They pull everything in and create more problems. I went through all of it, and I've been reversing all of it, and I still am, because my wisdom teeth are so far in, especially thanks to braces. But it's mainly due, braces especially, but mainly due to being forced to sit thanks to the Industrial Revolution and looking down all the time. Again, the Industrial Revolution. So if you have crooked teeth, if you have tooth problems, it's not your genetics. It's not going to be your genetics. It's going to be your lifestyle. It's going to be how you have used your body up to this point. That's why I've made this video free. This video should be like tens of thousands of dollars, you know, just based on how valuable it was to the colonizers to take over indigenous lands and steal all of this information. So now I have to be back sharing it like this. It's clearly pretty valuable. So now that you know that you have been creating your body based on how you communicate, I'm sure it makes a little more sense how you can see that disease is not genetic, but it's a symptom of you using your body improperly. And all you have to do is change the way that you communicate to change the way that you feel. And of course, that happens internally before externally. So if you want to lose weight and lose fat, you're not about to lose weight and fat eating more. If people can keep giving you more things to eat, but it's always going to be you introducing things into your space and becoming addicted and reliant on things outside of yourself. This is the point of fasting, to just go straight water. The point is, water represents your desire to connect. Water is essential for life because everything is connection. If you can't connect to yourself, then you're not going to be able to create life for yourself. So water fasting is all about creating the life that is truly for yourself. And that reflects in how you cleanse your body of things from the world, and then your body becomes healthier. You become more at ease as you get rid of the dis. And now you're able to communicate better. Pair that with Decolonize Your Face, create more space in your face. Now you just have super healthy nervous system. Now your body is jumping with energy, and you don't have the tooth problems. You don't have communication issues. You don't have spine issues. You don't have any body issues because everything's connected to your spine. We're forced to sit because it creates disease inside of our bodies based on how our spine becomes misaligned. So if you want to have as healthy a body as possible, if you want your muscles to be as strong as possible, if you want your organs to be functioning as well as possible, if you want everything in your body to just run smoothly, simply, and cleanly, then you want to make sure that your teeth are as spaced out as possible and that your teeth are in fact not crowded. The more crowded your teeth are, the more your head is out of alignment, the more your spine is out of alignment, the less your nervous system can do its job properly. And this not to mention all the extra problems that come with teeth. You can read about that on the site. So those 2 courses, all about getting connected to yourself, all about expanding your ability to communicate once you're connected to yourself. And if you really want to go hard, check out Tablet Talks with Tehuti, where I'm going through and decolonizing all these Emerald Tablet translations that are made of my text. Because I promise you, they're all lies. They're all lying in different ways. They're all lies. It's hilarious. But it's also not. Because people have genuinely been reading these thinking that I wrote them and getting lost in these lies of the people that clearly, if they went out of their way to steal them from indigenous cultures and impose English, when they finally introduce the information back to you in English, it's not even going to be the real information. The whole point of them using English was to get rid of what I originally wrote and get rid of indigenous spirituality in general. So we're here revamping it inside of the colonizer tongue. See you later.